Why do so many people become complacent? Satisfied needs never motivate, only unsatisfied needs. Hey, this is Coach Micheal Burt, America's coach, and this is a big day for me, guys. Number one, I'm starting my new podcast back after a long time that I've not been in the podcast studio, mainly because I didn't have a podcast studio. So I've decided to do 3 podcasts under the moniker of America's Coach. One of those podcasts is what you're going to hear today, which would be Pray Drive, Go to Bed Tired, Wake Up Hungry, around my best-selling Wall Street Journal, a best-selling book called Flip the Switch. I'm also going to do the Coach's Locker Room around my book, The Making of a Coach, for all the people who want to speak and coach and train and lead. And then I'm going to be doing Lessons from My Lodge, 30 years of wisdom from coaching some of the top people in the world. So I want to welcome you, number one. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this podcast, under anywhere where you find a good podcast, just go to America's Coach, subscribe to that podcast. You can hear me. I'm going to be doing this a lot. I'm in my new studio, the Level 10 studio at the Greatness Factory of Nashville. Man, am I excited. It's looking beautiful. It feels good. It looks good. I got the custom desk. And I just want to say thank you to all the people who support me around the world, buy my books, come to my workshops, are part of coaching. I believe everybody needs a coach in life. I believe a good coach can change your life. And I believe a good coach will really do 3 things for you. You're going to find this out in the podcast today around Pray Drive. A good coach will have conversations with you that you may or may not want to have. A good coach will push you to do some things that you may or may not want to do. And a good coach will help you become something you did not think you could become. And I believe those that have a coach earn 3 and 4 times the amount of money than those that don't. I think it would be foolish, guys. I think it would be absolutely foolish in life to try to go out there and go at it on your own. We reach ceilings of complexity. We get frustrated. We get to a point where we can't break through. We reach a plateau, and which is why you always hear me say there's 3 states of energy. You're dynamic, you're growing, you're alive, you're vibrant, you're curious, you're alert, you're humble, you're hungry, you're teachable, you're in a dynamic position. Or what happens to so many people is you're static. You're stuck, you're complacent, you're bored, which is actually going to be what we talk about today. Why do people become complacent? Or the worst case of energy is entropic, dying, disintegration. The minute something stops growing, it starts dying. The minute a plant stops growing, it starts dying. So I want you to think today on this Pray Drive podcast. We go to bed tired, we wake up hungry. It all goes to zero at midnight. There comes a time when winter asks what you've been doing all spring and summer. And folks, winter is always coming. I don't know who you are or who you may think you are, because there's a lot of people who believe, man, it's going great. Things are good. This is what happened to people. They got complacent. So today we're going to tackle the concept of why do people become complacent. Now, if you've never got my book, Flip the Switch, this book was published by Wiley, became a Wall Street Journal bestseller for me. First bestseller, by the way. Only took me 18 books to figure that out, folks. The only difference on book number 18 was I hired a freaking coach. So thank you to Rory Vaden. Rory has launched some of the top books in the world, including Ed Mylett's book. And that's really how it happened. I reached out to Ed Mylett and said, who helped you launch this book? Rory Vaden. I'm like, boom. I want to go spend some time with Rory Vaden. I got in there for 3 hours, $18,000. He gave me 5 strategies. I implemented the 5 strategies. Boom, Wall Street Journal bestseller. So what's the difference? What does that tell you? Sometimes in life, we think we got it. We think we don't need somebody. Oh, I've written 17 books. I know how to do this. And it was true. I did know how to write a book. I had self-published. I had major publishing deals. Wiley, Simon & Schuster, McGraw-Hill. Like, I had major publishing deals. What I didn't know how to do is I didn't know how to make a book a bestseller. It's not always the best written book that becomes a bestseller. It's the best marketed book. So for you, today is going to be about who's your who's, number one. Why do people become complacent? And complacency is a gradual settling to a place of mediocrity. Mediocre means to go halfway up the mountain. I guarantee you there's a part of your life, as I'm talking about this right now, you're going, man, there was a time in my life I was on fire. I was dynamic. I looked good. I felt good. I was in great shape. I was persistent. I had an intensity, and then I lost it. I lost my prey drive. I've coached people making $6 to $10 million a year who lost their prey drive. I've coached multi-millionaires who've lost their prey drive. I've coached people who had it but just lost it because life knocked the shout out of them. Shout out to Tim Story who gave me that line. So when I wrote Flip the Switch, I wrote it around a concept called prey drive. Prey drive is your instinctual ability to see something with the eyes, optically, or in the mind, in the imagination, which is a gift that God gave us, independent will and imagination. They tell us that animals do not have an imagination. They're very instinctual. They operate from survival, but we are the only group, species that has imagination. We also have independent will, which means if we don't like where we are, we can change it. So a prey drive is instinct. It's instinct to pursue. It's instinct to see a bigger future. It is your instinctual ability to see something with the eyes, optically or in the mind, in the imagination, and to have the persistence and the intensity to pursue it. So why do people become complacent? There's 3 phases of this drive, folks. Number 1, the prey drive must be activated. And guess when it must be activated? Just like my bracelet says, we go to bed tired, we wake up hungry. It all goes to 0 at midnight. There comes a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer. This is a way of thought. So the prey drive must be activated every day, number 1. And I teach people how to do that with the book. I teach people in my coaching program, Competitive Intelligence. I teach people when I go around the country on tour how to activate the drive every day in all 4 parts of your nature. The body, that's physical. The mind, that's mental. The heart, that's emotional. The spirit, that's spiritual. Those are 4 parts of your nature. So number 1, the prey drive must be activated daily. What you did yesterday don't matter today. And some of you may have recurring or passive income, and that could make you complacent. I think it's great. Everybody wants passive income. I want more passive income. I think one of your big goals should be your passive income is always greater than your living expenses. Having said that, don't get lazy because you got passive income. Don't get lazy because life is good. Don't get lazy, right? King David, great king in the Bible. One year he decided to stay home, right? Some reports say his own troops said, stay home, don't go into battle. He listened, I'm staying home, I'm not going into battle. What happened? He got distracted, which means to pull apart. Got distracted watching the Bathsheba show, right? His whole life went downhill, folks. He went from a great king to his life headed in the wrong direction, having the wrong momentum because he got distracted. He became complacent, lazy, right? So has to be activated every day. Number 2, there must be a persistence to this drive. A lot of people associate persistence with grit and resilience, which is a habit of the top 1%. The ability to lock in and see something through to its conclusion. A lot of people don't have this. I associate persistence with a passion. 2 definitions of passion, folks. Irresistible belief for motive or action. That's a positive one. What about this one? Passion means to suffer. Suffer for something you want. I think about this building. Probably going to cost me $7 million to build this building, from the purchase price to the build out. Every day it's something new. Something doesn't work. We didn't order this right thing. And it's like, man, but when I bring people down, I've had people visiting all day, and I want you to come to the Greatness Factory to sit with me, to talk to me, to bring your team here, to work in the podcast studio, to come to the Dream Foundry and the Money Lab and the beautiful theater. And I think about the sacrifice that it took to build this thing. 33 years of pushing and long obedience in the same direction and showing up every day when you didn't feel like it and not listening to your feelings and just making a simple decision, killing something off, backing the decision up with a commitment, because a decision is not a decision unless you back it up with a commitment. Time, money, energy, resources. I could have made a decision to be great 5 years ago and done nothing with it. I can make a decision today, lose weight, get better, make more money, show up, make phone calls. Don't matter. It's easy to make a decision. See, a lot of people think it's hard to make a decision. It's not hard to make a decision. It's hard to back the decision up with a commitment, and that is the second phase of prey drive. So I got activation. I have persistence. Step 3, I've got intensity. And intensity is force, velocity. It's like I wake up with a movement and a circulation. And this is why I have daily goals. So if you read the book, Flip the Switch, if you haven't gotten it, it is on Audible. I actually read it myself under Prey Drive, Preydrive. A long story around that, but my publisher would not let me read the book. They gave somebody else an opportunity to read the book. Actually, the guy that read it didn't have any prey drive, which is shocking to me. And everybody said I didn't like it. They're like, that ain't Coach Burt. No, don't have the Southern accent. And I'm like, I'm going to go into the studio, cut it myself, call it prey drive. You can get that on Audible right now. I think it's $10. Okay, you can go to my website, coachburt.com, click under resources. Get, I think it's 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours of me breaking the book down on masterclass and a masterclass. So it's like when you're thinking about this, intensity is, I don't like weekly goals. I don't like quarterly goals. I don't like yearly goals. You know what I like? Daily goals. You wake up every day. You're trying to get from A to B. B is your desired outcome. A is your current position. I want force and velocity. See, some people, I got to go do this, and I got to do this, and I got to get warmed up, and I got to get my coffee, and I got to, I got to get ready to perform. When I show up, it's game time. I already got my workout in. I already got my podcast in. I already got my spiritual, listen to my sermon. I already spent time with the kids. I already listened to something on business when I was fixing my hair in the morning. Folks, when I show up with batteries included. Ain't many people show up with batteries included. I got to get warmed up. I got to walk around and say hi to everybody. I got to get my socializing in. That is not the purpose of work. The purpose of a business is to create a customer. So when you're thinking about these three phases, if I was at a speaking engagement today, like I was yesterday here at the theater, I may say to you, where do you fall off the wagon? You don't know how to activate that drive every day, problem one. You don't know how to persist every day. You don't have enough passion, sacrifice. Number three, you don't have an intensity. You got slow goals, you move slow. It's not the big that eat the small, folks. It's the fast that eat the slow. So you say, why do people become complacent? Real simple. When I wrote the books, I studied the top 20 motivational theories. I deconstructed those theories. And I said, what do all these theories have in common? Number one, every theory on motivation says the same thing. We move toward things we want. What happens if you have everything you want? See, when I was a basketball coach, I had $2,500 in my bank account. I had a great 2-bedroom condo. I was a bachelor, just me, no family, no kids. I worked 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. I thought I drive a pretty decent little car. Had me a little Ford Expedition, blue, looked nice, had good friends, had no money, good friends, great job. I had everything I wanted. I was overweight, didn't look good, didn't take care of my body, high stress for a decade, didn't have a family, worked hard and played hard. I was good, man. If you'd have come to me at 25 years old and said, you can become a multimillionaire, you got the talent, the skills, the engine, the know-how, you're a level 10 person stuck in a level 4 vehicle, I'd have been like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm happy. And I was happy. But I was not operating at my full potential. I needed something to come along to activate me. See, the word motivate means to move. The word inspire means to breathe life into. A lot of people get inspired. A lot of people can move. But what they don't know how to do is activate. Let's use another word here, initiate. They don't know how to initiate their prey drive. So what happens is they get to a point in life and my comfort is greater than my desire for a better life. So I stay. And what happens is, I as Tim's story says, I sit for a little while and then I settle and then I cement. Everybody hear that formula? I sit, I settle, and I cement. And I'm going to add a fourth. Tim's story, love you, but I'm going to add a fourth part to your equation. And then I accept. I accept my settlement, right? It's like, hey, I'm staying here, man. This is good. I'm comfortable. And what we associate comfort with is complacency. The word complacent means a gradual settling to a place of mediocrity. Mediocre means to go halfway up the mountain. Anybody send their kids off to school this morning? I don't put my kids in the car. They were going to school. My son's going to Montessori. My daughter's going to Middle Tennessee Christian. My 18-month-old's in the car just having fun. I didn't put them in the car and go, hey, here's what I want you to do today, kids. I want you to go gradually settle to a place of mediocrity. I didn't say that. I said, man, we're going pro today. The other day I woke my son Elias up and I said, let's go. He's like, why? Why do we have to get up? Because we got big things to do today, son. We got people to help and we got lives to impact and we got people coming to the Greatness Factory. And I didn't call it the Complacency Factory. And the truth is the Complacency Factory would probably sell out a lot faster than the Greatness Factory would, because only certain people want to be great. If you're out there listening to this today and you're listening to my podcast on America's Coach, you're watching me on YouTube, you're watching my reels on Instagram, and you're going, that dude can help me, then why haven't we done something together? Why are you not in a coaching program? What is there? How long does it take? How long do you live there where there's no pain? You know, I had dinner with Jeremy Miner just a few weeks ago in Scottsdale, one of the top sales trainers. You know, I've worked with all the top sales trainers. Cardone, Andy Elliott, Bradley, not a sales trainer, but entrepreneur. You name it, I've worked with a lot of these people. And so I'm having dinner with Jeremy Miner because I'm going to be doing an event with him here at the Greatness Factory in July. We're about to start pumping that. I've got JT Fox and Adam Coffey coming here May 10 and 11, Build an Empire. Like you're going to see me do so many things here because I want to learn from these people. And the one thing I took away from Miner in Scottsdale, who could talk about sales for days. Like, this dude loves sales, which I loved about him. Smart, intelligent, well-spoken. And he said, where there's no pain, there's no movement. Where there's no tension, there's no movement. If there's no frustration, which is misguided enthusiasm, there's no movement. There's no movement in your life. So the best thing a salesperson can do is make people relive the pain. Relive the pain of the past, relive the pain of the future, relive the pain when people do not make a decision. This is the number one thing you could do as a salesperson. Make them relive the pain. I'm like, how long are you going to stay there, man? See, you would think in an ideal world, as it relates to Pray Drive, well, everybody's interested in their potential. It's like, man, everybody should be at a Greatness Factory. Then why do so many people go to the Complacency Factory? Why do so many people become complacent? Satisfied needs never motivate, only unsatisfied needs. And when I studied to write the book, The 20 Motivational Theories, and this is my own personal motivational theory. See, some of those guys that wrote about motivation, they studied it in a laboratory, they did tests. I studied it from the time I was 15 to 47 years old. Okay, 32 years? Going on 33, I'll be 48 this year. 33 years I've been in the trenches coaching people. This is a practical guide on motivation. What really motivates a person. But I don't even like the word motivation because it's cotton candy. I got motivated the other day and I lost it. What I need is activation. What I need is to initiate. What I need is to do this every day. What I need is discipline, which is a derivative of the word disciple. So when I studied motivation, this is what I found. In the animal, prey drive comes from animals. A dog has a prey drive, which is the dog's ability to stalk, capture, and kill prey. Everybody see that? It's the ability to stalk, capture, and kill prey. Pursuit. I'm pursuing something. What am I pursuing? My dreams, my opportunities, my potentiality. I'm interested in my potential. See, I'm interested in people who are interested in their own potential. How many people do you know around the world are not interested in their potential? They have no interest in their potential. They are disinterested. They are disengaged with their potential. So when I studied the animals to write the book on Prey Drive, there's nobody who studied Prey Drive more than me in a human. That's why I trademarked it. That's why I'm the leading authority in the world at it. It's because I know how to activate that drive deep inside of a person through 33 years, not by sitting in a laboratory interviewing people, but by doing it. Championship teams, 4 years in the prison system, rehabilitating maximum security offenders, coaching billion-dollar companies, coaching startups. I know how to do it because I've been doing it. And here's what I found out. There is no greater activator of prey drive in an animal, I want you to listen to this, than the mere ability to pursue the prey, not capture the prey. We are happiest when we are in pursuit. We are happiest when we are in pursuit. We are miserable when we are not pursuing. We're unhappy when we're not pursuing. I remember going to St. Martin. I wanted to go to St. Martin. I want to get an island, a bungalow over the water. I wanted to be able to see through to the water. We wanted to have a 24-hour butler. It's like, oh yeah, boom, boom, boom. So we did it. It's $2,500 a night, me and my wife. By day 3, I'm trying to figure out how to buy the bungalow. I'm like, would you guys sell me this bungalow? How much money does this bungalow generate? How much? It generates like 7 or 8 million a year, that one bungalow. I'm like, dang, how do we buy this? I wasn't pursuing anything. I'm unhappy when I'm not pursuing. Some of you out there are unhappy because you know you're complacent. You know you're not pursuing anything. You become disinterested in your potential. You're playing small. You're level 10 person stuck at a level 4 level. You're majoring in the minors. I can't tell you how many people do that. And you're like, life sucks because I'm not pursuing. What we got to do is get that prey drive reactivated. So let me give you 3 or 4 ways to get you activated, and then we'll wrap this podcast up. This is my very first podcast in my level 10 studio. I can't even believe I've walked by this studio hundreds of times. And doesn't it look beautiful? I mean, look at it. It looks beautiful. It sounds beautiful. And here's how you activate the prey drive. Number 1, you need to be doing the exercise A to B every day. I wrote this book called From A to B. A is your current position. B is your desired outcome. I talk about it a lot in the book, Flip the Switch, but I really talk about it in a book I wrote called From A to B. So there's a course on my website called A to B. I think it's $197. Go there, get the course. One of the best courses I've ever done. I actually watch that course almost every week. And I'm the one who did it. I'm like, dang, that's a good course. It makes you think. It's 15 questions. So B is your desired outcome. Here's what I've noticed. People who have small goals, a small B, have a small prey drive. They got small goals. They got a small prey drive. One of the reasons you don't have a big engine is because you got small goals, man. And you're not doing big enough things. Come on down to Nashville and build a $7 million building and see if you can go to bed tired and wake up lazy. I got to go get it every day, man. I got to go find some income every single day. I got to get people in here. I got to get enthusiastic. I got to sell this. What happened to selling and getting enthusiastic about selling? What happened to getting people excited about taking an action? What happened about saying, come down and see it? Showcase what you got, folks. So number 1, you need to do A to B, and you need to ask yourself, do I have small goals? And I know Alan Jackson sang the song, It's All Right to Be Little Bitty. Folks, it ain't all right to be little bitty when it comes to your dreams. So that's number 1. Number 2, you need exposure. The reason I want to bring you down to the greatness factor is because I want you to see it. The reason I have a condo here up top on level 35, I'm trying to get to 45 because 45 is the penthouse. Penthouses are 6 to 10 million overlooking the city. I think Taylor Swift had one, 4 billionaires. When I get on an elevator and a person pushes that button and I push 35, which is good. 35 is better than 5. 35 is better than 30. But when I see a person push 45, I'm like, boom. That's where you want to be. I'm like, now that's a player right there, folks. That's a player. But at 35, I can see the city. And I look down on the city and I think bigger. See, I know I go to some cities, they don't even have a high rise. How you thinking bigger in that city? You can't even get up above and look down. So you need more exposure. Exposures, workshops, boot camps, spending time. You need to get in a room. Right now, if you're out there listening, you need to buy a ticket to something I'm doing. If I come to Michigan, you need to be in the room. If you're tired of playing small, you need to. If I come to West Palm Beach, you need to get in a room. If I come to Atlanta, Georgia, you need to get a room. Get in a room. Not get a room. You need to get in the room. And you need to come to the Greatness Factory just to see it. It's like going to Disneyland. Right? Walt Disney said, I'm going to make it different. I'm going to make it magical. I'm going to make it better. I looked at WeWork, Regis, Industrious, Spaces, all of them good people. And I said, I'm going to make it different, better, and more magical. It's the only place that combines coaching and real estate. You can work here. You can learn here. You can grow here. You can connect here. There's no way you wouldn't be excited at the Greatness Factory. That is exposure. Exposure and environments. My wife said, why are you working so much? You know what I said? The Greatness Factory makes you want to work. It's like I don't want to leave. I don't want to go home. I do want to go home and see my kids and my wife, but it's like, man, it's such a cool environment. You just want to come work. Some people go to work and goof off. So number 2 is you need exposure and environment. And number 3, you need to understand the concept of going from mental creation to physical action. I say this a lot, and I didn't really understand it until one of my coaches taught it to me, because I spent a lot of time fantasizing and catastrophizing. If you have the gift of vivid visualization, you see things so clear in your mind. But you don't focus on progress, you focus on perfection, and you go all the way to negative town. And that'll be a whole lesson I do called the sewer cycle versus the success cycle. But you go all the way to negative town. And that was me. I hire a coach. He says, look, you got to learn to go from mental creation, you see it in the mind, to physical action. And physical action is a phone call. Physical action is following up. Physical action is there's a movement you take. There's an energy. You go from thinking to doing. Some of you, the reason you need that pray drive activated, you spend way too much time in mental creation. My sales team talks to thousands of people a week. I'm thinking about it. I'm praying about it. I got to sleep on it. I got to talk to my wife about it. I got to make sure the lunar eclipse works out before I take action. Man, I want to take action, but Q2, I can't do it right now. Folks, if you're going to be around a guy like me, we can't talk about pray drive without talking about action. So these are ways you reactivate the pray drive. You set a bigger target. You go from mental creation to a physical action. As you're listening to this, I guarantee you're saying there's something I need to be doing. I need to be calling that guy. I need to get in a room with that dude. I need to get to a bigger level. I need to go see the greatness factory. See, just coming and seeing the greatness factory is an activator of your drive. I need to go see it. That exposes your mind. So you got to get from mental creation to physical action. And number 3, we really, really have to get you moving toward this activation daily. So why do people become complacent? It's real simple. Satisfied needs never motivate, only unsatisfied needs. There is no greater motivator of the prey drive or activator than the mere pursuit of the prey. And then you got to break it down to daily. And I'll close with this. The only lasting form of discipline is self-discipline. Discipline is a derivative of the word disciple. It means to give yourself to a person or cause you believe in. Jesus had 12 disciples. What did he say? Come and follow me. Drop everything you got and come and follow me. And they said, I'm in. I'm in. I'm going to give you everything, right? Well, discipline is like I'm committed to my goals. I see it in the mind, and I'm going to move toward it with a persistence and an intensity. And that is pray drive. So if you're looking to activate, get the book, Flip the Switch, get the Audible Pray Drive right now while you're listening to me. Go online to CoachBurt.com, book a ticket to come see me. You've been thinking about it. You don't listen to my podcast because you just want a little cotton candy from time to time. Tastes good, then it goes away. Tastes good, then it goes away. The speaking engagement opens the mind. The podcast opens the mind. The coaching program changes the life. So a whole different program for me to coach you versus you to be exposed to me. And let me take my 33 years of doing this in the real lab, in the real money lab, and let me bring it to you. So go online right now, book a ticket to come see me. Let's get you in the room. Let's get you started, and let's activate that Pray Drive. I'm Coach Micheal Burt, America's Coach. Another edition of, well, actually the first edition of Pray Drive. Go to bed tired, wake up hungry. I'm going to be doing this every single week. I can't wait to help you around the world, man. Everybody needs a coach in life because a good coach can change your life.